spirit to the game. It wasn't altogether a clean game, but we talked about it before the game that at an elite level, we play good basketball teams on their home court. You have to find different ways to win sometimes, and this is not necessarily playing to our identity, scoring 84 points. However, we found a different way, and again, even though it wasn't the most fluid game, the competitiveness of it I liked. Obviously, they're going through some adversity. Guys in and out of the lineup, that definitely hurt not having Heinrich. But we'll take the win.
To that end, Coach, you guys over 20 turnovers, I believe season high tonight. Is that some of the sloppiness, or is that some of the action that you're getting defensively?
Well, that's the nature of how we want to play defensively. I think having Heinrich out certainly helped our cause in that regard. They weren't quite as efficient as they normally are. And we want to apply pressure, not because of that reason, more because that's how we want to play. And the aggressiveness, the competitiveness, like I said, is more to our nature.
No, it's always going to be
50%. Well, it did not feel like that. Well, the turnovers, I think, really clouded it a little bit. We had some very careless, sloppy turnovers in transition, some really unforced turnovers in the half court. That kind of skewed it a little bit. It felt at times that we weren't playing good basketball at all, but our competitiveness was there. We were just sloppy. The times that we did turn it over, I was pleased for the most part, with our execution. We had the shots that we wanted to.
Does that speak to the level of expectations?
Well, it speaks to two things. I mean, one, it's a very competitive game, but when two defensive-minded teams collide, sometimes that manifests itself in other areas. You're not necessarily sharp in other areas, and you have to give their defense credit. They forced us into a couple turnovers, and maybe there's a residual from that. But yeah, our expectations are high. To play for a title, you have to win different ways, but you have to play at an elite level. There's no question about it.
Erik, they pounded you on the boards the first time, this time very close throughout. Is that a change in your team's approach, something different? Is it the guys realizing why the difference between the two games on the boards?
Well, competitive commitment. You've got to be willing to get into that fight. There can't be a no-show. We talked about it. It's one of the keys. Don't be a no-show. If you're not showing up and being there for your teammate, won't get embarrassed like we did the last time. And they have that ability. If you're not absolutely focused on getting into that battle, they can absolutely annihilate you on the glass like they did. They still had times where they pounded us, but we were more competitive on the glass, no question.
And do you think you're moving in that direction to get away from those games, that maybe that was sort of a first half of the season thing?
Time will tell, but it takes a great deal of effort and focus. You can't do it halfway. It's one of those things for us, the way we're built. If we do it halfway, we'll get pounded. But there were some exhausting possessions where we played it to the end to get a group rebound, 2 or 3 guys get a hand on it, 2 or 3 guys blocking out. And it takes that, against a team like this.
Erik, you go in that as conditions, the Gray is looking for a shot, looking for different ways to get a shot with layups, curls, other things like that. That's what you want him doing, being aggressive.
Yep, that's what he's there for. To be a live option. He helps us, and in particular, as we know, in the fourth quarter. He saved as many big shots, made as many big plays as anybody in the fourth quarter for us. And now he's getting more comfortable in his role and how we use him, finding different ways to use him where he's a little bit more familiar with it.